Welcome to the MindPower Paradigm. I'm Natalie.
I'm Elly, and welcome to you today. Uh,
So
I,
excited to be here, Ellie. Last week we had the kids home, so it was crazy loud and you heard dishes in the background, and now we have some peace. So I'm super excited to talk on this topic today. As you know, I am heavy into mindset and behaviors, and I know you are too. And just trending this week alone with on all my client calls. It starts with our feelings, our behaviors. It literally sets the course for our entire day, and how we act on that, right? Our actions follow. So, what are your feelings on that topic? And let's start to dissect that because I feel like this could really help a lot of people just going into the weekend.
oh, absolutely. And this is such a great topic, Natalie. I always tell my clients, and you probably tell your clients too, it doesn't matter how you feel, just do it.
Right.
Because after, it's like I have clients that wait for inspiration. Okay. They'll sit on the couch, they'll sit in a chair, and they're waiting to get inspired. Well, it doesn't happen that way. And we'll come back to feelings because inspiration comes from action. And so it's the same thing with feelings. Oh, I don't feel like it today. I have, or I'm getting on the platform. I have found that it is way easier energetically in terms of our energy in our body to sit on the couch and wallow. I've seen it with all my clients. It
Mhm.
takes way less energy than to get up and do, even though the rewards are so great from the doing as opposed to the just sitting on the couch wallowing.
Mhm.
And this is because they don't feel like it.
Yeah, I love that. And there's this misconception, at least I've seen in the past 6 years of really being head deep into, all this, is that there's this misconception that we gotta wait for motivation. Like when the sun starts shining and the weather gets nicer, like that's when I'm gonna be motivated to maybe get healthy.
Mhm.
Or people are waiting for motivation from like, a sign, I don't know, to just drop on their kitchen table that like now's the good time to really
Mhm.
finish that course that you're creating or start
Mhm.
that business
Mhm.
or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. So it's like even kids, like I'm waiting for the perfect time to be motivated to start taking care of another human being. But here's the thing, especially in the health world, is that motivation is not what gets you started,
That's right.
right? So it's typically a pain point that gets you started, I would say. And then what happens is the motivation comes after. The motivation is what keeps the motor going from there on out. And where do we get the motivation from? We get the motivation from progress, from hitting milestones, from having somebody in your corner cheering you along the way. And when you're waking up every day and you're seeing you have more energy if you're working on your health, or the scale is going down, or your pants are fitting better, that motivation is going to keep you going. So it's naturally not motivation that gets you going, it's a pain point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's the consistency and the persistence that keeps it, and the energy rises. It's just a cycle that once you tap into that, it's an incredible cycle. And I have to add two things to this.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said in his latest book, I don't know how late that was, but in one of his books that he just wrote, a few, could be, I don't know the date. All right. Forgive me. He's do it with urgency. There's got to be
Mhm.
an urgency. You got to have urgency. And one of the things that he says also is, I'm quoting him, I do in 6 months what takes others 10 years. And that's what he lives by. Imagine you get up in the morning, and if he said, oh, I don't feel like running this company today. I don't feel like running my business today. I don't feel like working. I'm going to take it easy today. Well, absolutely take it easy. We got to do self care. But at the same time,
Yeah.
if you want to have $1 million business, you want to have that level of success, you want to be able to go take it easy later and have that passive income, you got to grow. There's like, if you don't win the lottery, you got to grind it. Okay. And even to win the lottery, guess what? That takes something too. Okay. It takes consistency to buy your lotto tickets, whether you feel like it or not. And it takes getting into that vibration. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up, but it is kind of like the easy man's or woman's ticket to financial success. And, it's all about feeling, and it's not about feeling. It's about consistency and taking action.
Yeah, consistently. Listen, I mean, I eat, sleep, and breathe this. Consistency is the igniter of all momentum in anything that you do in life, in anything that you do, right? So it's, and that 1% in this world that like you're like, oh, you look great, you know, you got it so easy. You know, they're the 1% who was consistent, poured blood, sweat, and tears into whatever project they were working on. Maybe it was raising children, maybe it was growing a business, maybe it was going for a bodybuilding, you know, competition. I'm not sure what that is for you, but you know what? They didn't have it easy. They just showed up
Yeah,
differently, right? They
exactly.
showed up with attention. And I think, you know, that leads us into the second part here where at least it was trending in my clientele audience this week on my client calls was that feelings and emotions. And you know, listen, everybody is going through something in their life. You know, you can never judge somebody, you know, based off of how they show up, because you have no idea what's going on in their life. But I want to be here today to tell you that your feelings, all they are indicator lights. Just think about a car dashboard. They're indicator lights on a car dashboard. So like, you know, when your oil needs to be changed, just think of that as like, you know, an indicator light of like anger popping through or this popping through. And, you know, all you have to do is separate the higher brain and the lower brain, right? Like the lower brain is like, oh my God, like the anger or the, you know, upset light cue just went on, the indicator light just went on. Like lower brain, let's go get that instant hit of dopamine. Let's go, just go pour the wine, break out the cheese and crackers. I need that instant hit, right? There comes the survival brain, that lower brain. And then what I challenge you with is like, you have to show up with intention. You have to show up with being conscious and saying like, oh, my lower brain's trying to sabotage me. It's just an indicator light. I do not need to act on it. My higher brain would say, I respect your feelings. Feel them. Sit there for a minute. It's important to sit there and feel your feelings and not go numb them with an instant hit of dopamine. I know what you want to do, but how did that work for you last time? You said
Right.
a little bit won't hurt. A little bit did hurt. It turned into a lot of it. And then it cycled into, right? It cycled into self negative talk, going to bed angry, taking it out on your children and your husband, right? It turns into this vicious cycle.
Yeah, 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 yeah. A little bit turns into a lot of it. I like that. I always call, this is just me, I call the lower brain caveman or cave woman.
Yeah,
Right? It's like, oh, there's our higher self, right?
yeah.
There's the higher self, the higher spiritual self, and then there's that cave person that just, it's like, okay, I don't feel like it. Okay, good, go.
Right, right. It's the truth though, right? I think
It is.
99% of the world lives with that lower caveman brain thinking. They're always just acting on their feelings. I mean, listen, if I acted on my feelings 99% of the time, yeah, I don't even know where I would be. Like, I mean, it's actually a scary thought, right? Like, just if I just want to instant hit of dopamines all day, I like wouldn't work out. I, you know, ship my kids off to like boarding school, like, right? Ship them off somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, they're just indicator lights. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to like sit in them, feel them. I, you
Let 'em.
know, recognize that they're popping up, but we don't have to act on them with our lower brain.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's like I think of feelings as the wind. All right. You
Yeah,
got a wind comes by. Okay. So you buckle up your jacket for that split second. Wind stops. You open your jacket. Only it doesn't mean that you, I don't know, you don't go out because the wind, this is not a good analogy, only that you give in because it was windy and so you stop because the thing changes in within a few seconds. And that to me is like a feeling. Okay, let it fly by, let it drift by. This is what I feel right now. Okay, change my thoughts, recognize it as you said, recognize what's drifting by, what you see, change it, and then take action. Get up, do a state change. Remember we talked about that, I think, on
yeah,
one of our calls where
yeah.
we're doing state changes, meaning, get up, move your body, do something, changes everything, changes the feeling.
Well, that's just it, right? So like behaviors are typically changed. Like, uh, for instance, when I sit on the couch, that's when the binging happens. Well, it's number one, it's telling me it's an environmental problem, or it's a change behavior problem, right? So if you're pairing watching television on the couch with binge eating behavior, we got to change.
Mm,
We got to change the movement. So at 3 o'clock every day, like, you can no longer sit on the couch and watch television, because that is cueing a change behavior to go binge. So we got to change that environment that you're sitting in at 3 o'clock every day. What are you going to do instead? Take radical responsibility. Set an alarm. Go outside for a walk. Set an alarm. Go do some laundry. Go find a hobby. Maybe it's a yoga class. I don't know what that looks like for you, but if you want radical change in your life, you have to start changing the outcome.
yeah, beautiful. Okay, I think that we have really covered this for
Yeah,
today.
listen, I could talk all day on this, so shut me up.
I love what you said today though. And so people, we have a surprise for you soon. We're going to have our website up and running soon, shortly, and then you can reach us and, work with us, hit that like button on YouTube, share. Let's get what you want in the world. Okay, let's go for it. All
Yeah,
right.
loving
Natalie,
it.
happy weekend. Love you all. Love
Yeah,
the viewers too. Have a great weekend. Thank
see
you,
you next
Natalie. Thank
week.
you.
Bye.
Wow. Ciao.